Oh hi, I just watched all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies in a row and I am so hyped to talk about them. What is it about swashbuckling sword fights and legends of treasure that gets moviegoers going? I don't know, but if you've ever wondered why Robert DeNiro turned down the role of Jack Sparrow, how this dude got left in this shot, saw Orlando Bloom's Elvish tattoo on his wrist, or studied old Keith Richards videos to uncover Johnny Depp's acting methods, then set sail with me, ya hearties, as we search for 25 other things you missed in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie series. The sword fighting in the Pirates movies just feels dangerous, doesn't it? Maybe that's because Darth Vader himself designed them. Well, sort of. Hollywood legend Bob Anderson helped bring the swordplay to life in Curse the Black Pearl, and it was just one impressive entry on an insane resume. Grumpy Bob brought life to blades for Bond, Zorro, Lord of the Rings, Princess Bride, Star Wars, and he even served as Darth Vader's stunt double.
Not true. That's impossible!
Johnny Depp's portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow is one of the biggest swings in modern film acting. But did you know he wanted to swing even harder? In addition to gold teeth and wiggly fingers, Depp wanted Captain Jack to have no nose, and as a result be terrified of nose-related trauma like pepper and the sniffles. Disney put their foot down on this one, and it's probably for the best, yeah. But Depp pushed hard for his interpretation of the character at every stage and thought it would cost him the job, even saying, "I really expected to be fired, but I wasn't for some reason. They were actually gonna put subtitles under my character. They couldn't understand Captain Jack." The first sequel to the series, Dead Man's Chest, was the first to feature a CGI version of the Walt Disney Pictures logo. The previous white and blue logo had been in use since 1985. Since Dead Man's Chest, the logo has had several touch-ups, but the 2006 change was the biggest alteration in decades. And it makes sense that Disney would bring the CGI noise/funk right at the start of the sequel, as Dead Man's Chest was the only film in the series to win an Oscar, fittingly, for visual effects. The win was thanks to Industrial Light and Magic's incredible work bringing the tentacly Davy Jones, played by Milne Nye, his barnacly crew, and the terrifying Kraken to life. It's easy to forget now, but this was cutting-edge stuff at the time, and it saved almost every member of Davy Jones's ship from having to sit for hours in the makeup chair. I did say almost every member, didn't I? Because Stellan Skarsgård, who played Will's father, Bootstrap Bill Turner, was the lucky crew member who did get all corally the old-fashioned way in the makeup chair. It created a fun dynamic on set, with Skarsgård and Nye acting in the same scenes, but in very different ways. With Skarsgård saying of his co-star's technique, "I realized real fast that he acts as if he knows he's got those tentacles on his face. He's acting extremely precise and big to help the CGI people. And I'm standing there with my muscles in my face, trying to be subtle, which made it very funny actually. I had the advantage of using my own face, but the disadvantage of spending 4.5 hours in makeup." Several actors wore contacts to make their eyes look more dull or yellow, gross, but Johnny Depp wore contacts that doubled as sunglasses so he wouldn't squint when he did all those cool gazes out onto the horizon. Wouldn't look as cool, no doubt, doing like a hard squint thing with like the hand trying to find where the sun is. Characters love clutching their black pearls when a woman comes aboard a ship in the series. And while pirates and sailors were actually often wary of bringing a woman on board, female pirates were a thing. Two of the most famous, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, actually sailed together. A witness at their trial, womp womp, said they were two of the fiercest members of the crew. And those real-life female pirates actually served on the ship of a real-life pirate that heavily influenced the film. Calico Jack, in addition to designing the pirate flag with the skull and cross swords that appears in both the films and the original Disneyland ride, also makes a brief, albeit deceased, appearance in Black Pearl as one of the 3 hanging pirates at the very beginning of the film. The original Pirates of the Caribbean ride was going to be a subterranean wax museum walkthrough, which sounds a lot less exciting and a tougher attraction to make a movie franchise out of. But when the ride's development was put on hold for the 1964 World's Fair, the same one that debuted It's a Small World, which you'll notice has a lot of similarities to the final Pirates ride, Walt Disney came back with a whole boatload yes, of ideas which were eventually implemented for the ride's opening in 1967. In fact, this was the last ride that involved Walt Disney himself. This moment in Black Pearl is often cited as a clue as to what Jack's compass, which doesn't point north but points to what its holder desires most, actually does. As when Norrington holds it, the compass points directly at Jack. But this was actually just a happy accident, as the writers hadn't decided what the compass pointed to at the time the scene was filmed. Love it when a good retcon goes your way, huh? Yes! Make it up as you go. Speaking of our favorite, Speaking of Commodore Norrington, we all know what a fall from grace he had in Dead Man's Chest. He goes from the top of the world to scrubbing the deck. But if you zoom in here, you can see that he is scrubbing the deck with his old Commodore wig. Like, bro, you wouldn't rather use a brush? Like, this just seems like you're creating new trauma for yourself, but I don't know, I guess do whatever you think is best. If you, like me, like watching all 5 Pirates movies right in a row, you might have noticed this little red spot on Captain Jack's chin. That's a joke between Depp and the makeup department that Captain Jack has untreated syphilis that just gets worse throughout the films. Gives a whole other meaning to taking it on the chin, huh? At the end of the 3rd installment, it's Will Turner who takes it in the chest, and that sword that momentarily kills Will is the sword he made for Commodore Norrington at the beginning of the first film. Maybe if Will wasn't such a great blacksmith, he wouldn't have had to captain the Flying Dutchman all those years. In Black Pearl, Barbossa mentions that the first thing he'll do once the curse is broken is eat a whole bushel of apples, and the Barbossa-Apple relationship is on display through the whole film. And so, with no other logical course of action, here it is, my 2021 Academy Award short film submission. Wow, meaningful. Meaningful and thoughtful. Meaningful, meaningful. Very meaningful, thoughtful. Thank you. First comment gets thanked in the acceptance speech. Break out your DVD players, you scallywags, because there be treasure hiding in the Pirates DVD menus. The film's menus are chock full of little tricks and secret content that might just be worth firing up the dustiest device on your media center, but you know, you gotta do you. Every great adventure film needs a final line that sends you immediately dancing in the aisles on the way out. Black Pearl has an all-timer.
Now, bring me that horizon.
Woo! I can already feel my heels clicking! But did you know that this line was improvised? It's not the only one too, including Captain Jack's trademark,
Savvy.
And while Depp was trying his best not to get fired on the set of Black Pearl, another actor was actively looking for the exits. Guardians of the Galaxy's own Zoe Salda-Nah was not a fan of working on the film, though she did say the cast was great, not the problem, saying it was very elitist. I almost quit the business. I was 23 years old and I was like, F this. I'm never putting myself in this situation again. Well, thank goodness she changed her mind. That would have made us super sad, like, just for example, speaking of Black Pearl, the Pirates' first installment was the first movie to premiere at Disneyland, and it definitely made sense why. Guests were able to ride many of the park's famous rides, including the film's namesake, and got to watch the premiere on a giant outdoor screen. There are approximately a bajillion references to the original Disneyland attraction in the Pirates movies, but one that pops up again and again is the song the animatronic pirates sing on the ride, Yo-Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me. The 1700s era characters treat the song as a common pirate shanty, but the tune actually wasn't written until the late 1960s, specifically for the Disneyland ride. It's only about a minute long, but it was written so it could be looped endlessly without audiences noticing. How could you not notice Giselle and Scarlett, the 2 women who slap Captain Jack as he arrives to Tortuga? The pair pop up again for cameos in the next few Pirates films, but their adventures don't end there. The duo's backstory is explored in the short movie spin-off Pirates of the Caribbean, Tales of the Code, Wedlocked. The massive treasure from the end of Black Pearl proved just too enticing for the cast and crew, as pieces were snatched up as souvenirs before production wrapped. Director Gore Verbinski says that all of the cursed Aztec gold was taken, which would make me a bit nervous, but you do you guys, you take whatever you want, just maybe don't go out in the moonlight. During the one take in the scene where Jack and Will steal the interceptor, not all of the ropes had been cut, and when the ship started moving, wood began to splinter all over, even knocking Johnny Depp out of the frame. The footage was never released. Hey, these days just get a few buddies together, make a hashtag, and bing bang boom, new 4-hour cut of Johnny Depp getting knocked out. This scene from Jaws served as inspiration for the writers during the scene where Barbossa tells the story of the curse, with screenwriter Ted Elliott telling CreativeScreenwriting.com, the story of the Indianapolis is one of the great scenes of modern cinema. We've got to have people telling stories in this movie. And they do. They do. Yep, the same interview shows that writers Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio put a lot of time into thinking about how to tell a pirate story, even pitching the film to Disney way back in 1992 when they were working on Aladdin. Disney gave a hard pass back then, but when the idea resurfaced, the duo was ready with their pitch for a supernatural twist on a pirate tale. There's just so much time and talent that went into the Pirates movies. I'm pretty sure this list could go on forever, like a certain song I know. Makes me wonder if Disney will ever tell us when or if we can expect Pirates of the Caribbean 6. I sure hope so. Until then, maybe I'll just hide in the Disneyland ride, do a little cosplay, make friends with some robots. Man, that sounds like a dream, actually. Should I do that?